Hi, my name is Hannah Orlamancy and welcome back, finally, to another doll customization video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made GIFfany from Gravity Falls. I haven't made a Gravity Falls character since my very first doll and my very first video when I made Mabel. So this has been long overdue because I love Gravity Falls and I've been wanting to make more characters, so yeah, I'm really excited to show you GIFfany. If you don't know, she is from the episode Seuss and the Real Girl. She's this innocent looking girl from this dating sim that Seuss starts dating in order to practice talking to real girls, and she seems really innocent and sweet, but she's actually this jealous, violent yandere. I really love her design, so I wanted to make her. Okay, let's get started. Hello again, it's voiceover Hannah. So the doll I used is Lizzie Hart's from Ever After High, and I've already cut and pulled out her original hair. To remove her factory paint, I used 100% acetone nail polish remover. Q-tips help remove the paint from small crevices. Next, I took 100% acrylic yarn in this bubblegum pink color, cut the strands to the desired length, and pushed the yarn into the head holes using my rerouting tool. The rerouting tool is just a needle cut at an angle and glued into an X-Acto knife part. I put the yarn hair between the prongs of the needle and then pushed it into the hole. I'm using the rerouting method rather than creating hair wefts like I do in most of my videos because I want the hair to be as long as possible. Also, this rerouting tool I made, originally the needle was sticking up and then it just got bent, so it's all crooked now. But I recently bought a new rerouting tool from Etsy, so definitely next time I reroute, I'm gonna use that one rather than this really janky one I made. Once all the yarn was in, I squeezed a bunch of glue into the neck hole and allowed it to dry. This is so the yarn doesn't come out when I brush it. I brushed the yarn hair using this pet slicker brush and started from the tips of the hair and then moved my way up once each section was free of tangles. Watch out for cats wanting to play with your yarn. My cat Nico thought this was a new toy and just kept grabbing the head from me, and I was like, no. Once the yarn was all brushed out, I straightened it with this flat iron. I wrapped a piece of scrap fabric around her hair and pinned it in place. Then I sprayed the head with Mr. Super Clear to prep for her new face. Make sure to wear a paint respirator mask if you're going to use MSC. I cannot say it. Okay, anyway, I used Faber-Castell watercolor pencils to draw on the new face. For this project, I used a lot of pink because I wanted GIFfany to look very soft and sweet, which I know it's very deceptive. Between each layer, I sprayed I almost said MCS again. I'm just gonna say Mr. Super Clear. Between each layer, I sprayed Mr. Super Clear to seal my work and allow for the building up of colors and vibrancy. I looked at this picture for reference on how to draw her eyes. Once the face was all drawn on, I used Faber-Castell soft pastels to add blush. Then I made the eyes and lips shiny with gloss varnish. Finally, I added these little glitter hearts to her face to add to the cuteness. Now for GIFfany's school uniform. I'm using the sailor school uniform pattern from GIFway. I'm on Etsy for everything. For her skirt, I cut out blue and dark blue rectangles and sewed it all together so it's a skirt that alternates colors. I ended up making the skirt way longer than it needed to be because I wasn't sure how much the width of it would be reduced when I made the pleats. When all the little pieces were sewed together into one, I then hemmed the bottom of the skirt. I used an iron to create the pleats and then sewed on the waistband. I cut off the excess fabric, then glued down the waistband in half. I folded the skirt together and then sewed halfway up the back. Finally, I hemmed one side of the back opening and sewed in snaps to close. Next, I hemmed the collar and used markers to draw on the stripes. I glued the collar down to the bodice. I hemmed the bottom of the sleeve bands and then sewed it to the sleeves. Not sure what happened to the footage, but I did a basting stitch at the top and bottom of the sleeves to create small ruffles. I hand stitched the sleeves to the bodice since it's very hard to do this part on the machine. I sewed up the sides of the bodice and down the sleeves, then hemmed one side of the back opening and added Velcro to close. I cut the socks out of stretchy knit fabric and hemmed the top. I sewed the socks right sides together and then turned them out. I glued pink ribbon on the socks and also used the same ribbon to make a bow. For the giant bow that goes on our head, which is supposed to resemble a computer ribbon cable, I cut out strips of fabric in blue, yellow, and pink and sewed them together to create striped fabric. I did this twice. Then, since I didn't have any wire around, I twisted two pipe cleaners together and put it through the opening. This is so the ribbon is able to bend. For the pieces that go at the ends of the ribbons, I used this silver cardstock paper and cut out rectangles in a 3D shape following this. Then I hot glued it to the ribbon. I put both pieces of the bow together and glued a strip of the silver paper around it. Finally, I took a headband from, I think, a kitty Cheshire doll and put it through this opening. Next, I brushed out GIFfany's hair and cut her bangs. I used the flat iron again to style it. Here's my cat, again, shoving his fat head in the camera. Lastly, the shoes. I used an X-Acto knife to cut the top parts of these gingerbread house shoes. I chose these because the pink matched. And that's it! GIFfany's done! Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye!